host of the C3 Panthers Podcast, Tony Dunn here. Let's react to Ron Rivera's press conference as the Washington football team visits Carolina Panthers in Week 11.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good, Joe. How are you?
Appreciate you taking some time. I just
remembers Joe's name.
As you watch the tape of
butter
Cam
him up.
Newton playing quarterback for the Panthers.
Well, I'll tell you what. I saw the some of the plays they ran, saw some of the stuff that we had done with them, and saw them doing some similar things. That was
you wish you had them.
That's
I know
some of
you
the things
don't.
that Cam
Maybe.
does really well.
We wonder about that relationship.
Figure out what else they're going to do with him.
Beat that tail. That's what we're going to do.
Ron, I'll jump in here. Mike Solarte, waving at you up here wherever I'm at.
Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Coach. Good to see you. And for 9 years, you got to prepare Cam to play. Now you have to prepare to defend Cam. Is this one of the situations that maybe you had hoped you'd never?
I bet you got a file.
Well,
you got a file.
I knew at some point I would have to. We got a little taste of it during the preseason this year when he was in New England, and now we're doing it for real. The hard part, the big thing is, there's not a lot as far as what they're going to do with him. So
I don't see how
now
we
gotta
can
have
grow
an ad?
unless we up our game on social media.
An
I don't
ad?
have time to manage all those different platforms.
wanna watch
I have
this
enough
ad.
jobs around.
we've got to kind of guess that, and we're going to prepare and try and figure those things out. We'll take a look at some of the things that he did when he was in New England, and we've already talked about some of the things that we've done with him in the past as well. But just trying to guess.
Remember what he did with you in
Take a good look at it.
Carolina? Win,
We don't
win,
wanna
save your
lose sight
job,
of some of the
job,
other
job.
players that they have. I mean, they
That's
got
what I
some
would
terrific
think.
Players, especially guys like Christian and DJ Moore, guys like that, and they got a good receiving core of talented players. So we've got to prepare for them.
And look, just to follow up in regards to Cam, I know that losing Chase is obviously a big loss for you guys on that edge. But how big of a loss is it when you face a guy that can get outside and do the things that Cam does?
Well, it is. I mean, the thing we've got to do is make sure we're really good with our edges. A great example was a couple of the plays that they ran this past weekend.
Does suck to lose that guy no matter
we're gonna
what.
expect
I
some
mean,
sort of,
it doesn't matter if you're
huge
playing
sweep or
Cam or
two power.
anybody.
So we've got to
That's
be
it.
ready
You
to
want the
handle that, make sure
guy
we set a
that's
good
the
edge and
alpha.
try and keep
Chase
those
Young,
things
be
down.
that alpha.
And we do know that he can throw the
That
ball.
star.
We do know he'll have a lot of options as far as weapons when you look at the playmakers they have.
Hey, Ron, David here. Good to see you.
My man, David
I
Newton.
wanted to ask you were so good at letting Cam be Cam. How tough was that in the very beginning, and how important is that for him to be successful?
Well, I think early on, once I learned it, realized it, and he never let me forget it, is that, I said, hey, I want you to, and I was kind of saying it generally to the team, but I was talking to him a lot, is that, I want him to play with this person. I want him to keep his personality, be who you are. And if you can do it within our core values, then you can play for us. And he always remembered that.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Be who you are and within our core values?
Personality, I think, is a big thing because, he loves the game. He loves to play the game.
And he just say he's a good dude. Say he's a good dude.
Jonathan Alexander, Shot Observer. Hope you're doing well.
Never heard of you before. That's what he's saying. Jonathan Alexander, love you. Great question, man.
In particular, stick out most, or what come to mind most for first?
Well, probably the biggest thing with Cam, when it comes to Cam, is
saving my
work
job.
we did in preparation to drafting him. And one of the things that I always will remember and always appreciate is the opportunity that I had to fly out to Atlanta the weekend before the draft. Flew out to Atlanta and spent the day with him and his family. And, we wanted to see, what he was like. And for me personally, so I went by myself.
What did you find out, Ron? What did you learn?
Interact with his mother, his father, and his oldest brother, and his grandmother. And I'll tell you what, when you see a young man in his own environment, the way he handles himself, and really, what I was really impressed with was his mother.
I'm so surprised that this man behaved in a respectable manner.
Wow, this is the right kind of young man. The right guy, and that pretty much solidified it for me.
Shouldn't
as far
say
as the
be
draft was
Jesus'
concerned when
name
we
like
picked him
that.
number one. And then with him, there's a lot of individual moments that we had that I really appreciated just because of who he is as a young man.
You mean like
you know, and
saving your job?
you know, just
2012,
a lot of the ups. I mean, we had a lot of big time ups. Probably the biggest
2013,
also, as far as
2014,
downers, was
2015,
when he had the car
2016.
accident, and then when he, you know, when we lost the Super Bowl, you know, he took it very hard, very personally, because he didn't want to lose. He wanted to win, and he's a winner, and that's who he is.
Hey, Ron, Ellis Williams here with the Charlotte Observer. Building off that anecdote you had.
You look
about
good
going
though,
out to
Ron. I ain't
see
gonna lie
Cam
about
before you
that.
drafted
Ron
him.
Rivera looking
How have
good,
you
looking
seen him
healthy.
evolve
Glad you
off the
are
field as now a
fighting
32-year-old
back, fighting that
candidate,
cancer.
prepares to play you guys?
Well, off the field, you see, you know, he's an entrepreneur. You know, he has some, you know, some stuff outside of football.
Who
that he's
isn't
been
an
working on,
entrepreneur off
preparing
the
himself
field,
for life. You
homie?
can see that. You know, so you know that there's also, you know, fatherhood, which I know he absolutely adores his children. So you know that he's more than just a football player. You know, and some of the charity stuff he does, the 7-on-7 passing league stuff that he handles for a group of young men that he
Turkeys
coaches
for
up.
days.
So
Happy
you see that
Thanksgiving,
he's grown
folks.
beyond just being that football player. And so, you know, as we prepare to play him, you know, we know that, you know, he's a different guy on the field, a completely different type of player.
He don't like your community. He gonna bust your ass
athletes,
on the
there's not a whole
field.
bunch of them, so you
He
can't
don't
compare
respect
from
your
his skill set.
area.
And building,
He gonna
building on
take
that,
over it.
Talk about on the field. Do you still notice him being able to make all the throws and being the same type of athlete he was when you had him here in Carolina?
I would say, you know, based on what I saw,
Uh-oh.
as far as the
What are you talking about? His strength.
preseason game against New
Let me
England, he made
see.
some really good
Talk about
throws.
his shoulder.
He took a big shot from Chase. I know that. His first third down, Chase came off the edge, and Cam.
You like to
bounced
hit
up.
that?
Well, it wasn't much there. I mean, that's just who he is in terms of, you know, of being able to withstand that kind of a hit. So yeah, I think, you know, based on the things that they've done in the past, I think Cam's going to fit exactly, you know, in for them. I mean, to me, it's
Does
it's
not
very
worry
bold
about the
move
deep
what they
threat.
did
That is
because,
code,
you know,
bro.
they
That's
have
code
some
for
talent.
no
They're
deep
a
threat.
good young
He ain't
football
worried
team.
about it.
Growing.
Look at this, Ron.
Coach Rivera, this is
Tough
Christian from
man.
WRL in Raleigh, North Carolina. I wanted to ask you, how did you deal with, or how do you deal with, I guess, a nostalgia when you go back to places that you've been before, like Chicago or San Diego? Well, there's no San Diego now, but when you go to places you spent
San
some time
Diego
in
does
before, how
not
do you deal with that? Do you
exist.
take a moment to kind of let things in, remember the good memories, and just kind of let it forward, or do you just not think about that at all when you head to a place that you've been before?
Oh, no, I mean, believe me, I take it all in, you know, and again, because, you know, I don't want to pretend, you know, Charlie, oh, you know, this, no, it is a business trip, but at the end of the day, you know, I spent 9 years of my coaching career in one spot. I was very fortunate to become part of a community, so I'm going to appreciate that most certainly. But when it comes to, you know, practice and stuff, you know, I had a little saying that I used when I was with the Panthers, and I'm using it here when now that I'm with the Washington football team, is you got to be where your feet are. And so, you know, when
You gotta stay
there's
where
a
your
chance
feet
to
are.
reflect and look back and really kind of
Stand where you're
you know, think of all
standing.
the great memories, because there's a bunch of great players that we have.
Don't stand where you're not
still live in the
standing.
community that I know, you know, will be around the stadium and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm going to say.
Imagine if a player
didn't
didn't give more homage to the community that they were part of. Imagine if they asked Cam this and he wasn't just like, I love Charlotte, love Charlotte.
You know, I'm going to try and make sure everything's as normal
Crazy.
as possible.
A little bit.
Hotel that, you know, I'm going to be there like I'm always there early.
I like y'all's
preparing, getting ready
hotels.
for those last meetings. You know, I will do those things. And then,
Ron, good.
like I said, just trying to take in the moment.
What if you could control the web,